Hello and welcome to How to Draw Tonal Composition Studies. In this video we're going to talk about tonal composition studies and sketches, what they are, the process behind them, and the materials that I like to use to execute my tonal composition sketches. Now, what is a tonal composition study? A tonal composition study is basically a study or a sketch based on the observation of the arrangements of shapes of value in a given picture or a scene. And typically when we study tonal compositions, we look at works by old masters, and these are artists that are commonly recognized as expert painters. So for example, we can look at portraiture, like this is an example by Anders Zorn. We could also look at landscape paintings. This is a painting here by Edgar Payne. And also I like to look at works by Golden Age illustrators. And this is a painting by a master illustrator, Dean Cornwell. And the reason why we would want to study old master paintings is because first, it trains you to see in value. And as we know, learning how to see in value is a master skill for anyone who wants to become good at painting or picture making. And second, it allows us to study how experts compose and arrange their pictures. So one of the ways to become good at anything is to seek the advice of experts. So when we do these studies from old master paintings, we can see how these expert master craftsmen arrange their values, arrange their shapes to make their paintings and their pictures more compelling, more believable, and have more impact on the audience. Now, the first step when you want to begin a tonal composition study is to make a good value observation. So I'm going to go over the value observation process here briefly. Now here we have a painting by Rembrandt, and Rembrandt is an excellent old master to look to for value and composition. Now the first technique that I like to do is to first squint. So squinting allows you to see the image simply in value information. So some of the color and detail information will be blurred out because the picture will then become a big blurry mess, but it'll make the shapes of value more clear. So that's why we want to squint at an image. Next, we want to then distinguish the value shapes. So once we squint, we can better see the shapes in value. And then we want to separate the dark shapes, for example, from the light shapes and the midtone shapes. Here in this example, you can clearly see the big mass of dark at the bottom of the picture, and also at the top of the picture and in the shadow on the subject. Next, you can clearly see the light shape, that big mass of white around the collar, and also in the subject's head in light. And finally, you can see the midtone or medium value placed in the background and on the subject's hand. Now, this is just a brief summary of the process that I use. If you want to learn more about how to see in value, you can visit the website to read the full article and see more videos on how to see in value and how to make good value observations. Now, before we get started, let's talk about the materials. Now, these are the materials that I like to use personally. They're not set in stone by any means. This is just my personal preference. Now, first, I like to start with a toned paper sketchbook. I almost always draw on toned paper, and this sketchbook I made myself just by having some paper bound. So toned paper works great for tonal composition studies. Next, I have a ballpoint pen, and the ballpoint pen is just what I do the bulk of my drawing with. Next, I have a Sharpie marker, and Sharpie is great for establishing the darks. Next, I have a series of gray markers, so I typically carry a 20% and a 50%. So like a number 2 or number 5, any kind of light gray or any kind of middle gray is fine for this. Next, I have a felt tip pen, and this is great for dark accents and doing fine lines. Next, I have a white pencil, and I like to use either Carbothello, which is pictured here, or white Prismacolor. And finally, I have a Mars eraser, and Mars eraser is great for erasing the Prismacolor or the pastel. So these are the tools that I like to use. Now, let's get on with the demo. Okay, I want to thank you for watching. In the next video, we're going to demonstrate how to do tonal composition studies. So you will see how I would execute a tonal sketch, a tonal study from observation. So stay tuned. And in the meantime, if you want to see more videos, more articles, and more exclusive content, like the full article on how to see and value, all you gotta do is go to the website. That's www.freshdesigner.com. And until next time, get out there, keep drawing, and build up your mileage. Bye for now.